In 2024, the average American household spends $273 every month on subscriptions. That is not a bill, it is a leak. If you diverted that exact amount into a standard index fund starting at age 25, you would have over $700,000 by retirement. We are living through the great enclosure of the 21st century. Your parents bought things once and kept them for decades. You, however, are being conditioned to rent your software, your entertainment, your transportation, and increasingly, the very hardware inside your home. This is the invisible tax on the middle class. The mechanism is simple. Transition from CAPEX, capital expenditure, to OPEX. Companies realize that selling you a $500 tool once was a bad business model. It's far more profitable to lease you that same tool for $20 a month forever. The product hasn't changed, only the extraction method has. Consider the Adobe Creative Suite. In 2012, you could buy the software for a flat fee. Today, a professional paying for the full suite will spend over $600 a year. Over a 40-year career, that is $24,000 for the privilege of using the same basic functions. This isn't just about software. It is a fundamental shift in the architecture of the economy. We've moved from an ownership society to a permission society. You no longer buy a car, you buy a temporary license to operate it, subject to the manufacturer's remote kill switch and monthly feature fees. Ledger entry. Switching from a $500 one-time software license to a $50 monthly service results in an 1,100% price increase over 10 years. The machine is working exactly as designed. The psychological trick used to justify this is the low barricade entry. By lowering the upfront cost to $9.99, the company bypasses your brain's financial defense systems. It feels like a rounding error, not a commitment. But these errors compound into a life of permanent servitude. The math of the convenience trap is devastating. A $10 a month streaming service doesn't cost $10. It costs the future value of that $10. If you have 12 such services, roughly the national average, you are hemorrhaging nearly $1,500 a year in post-tax income. This is why your disposable income feels like it's shrinking even when your salary goes up. Your lifestyle has been partitioned into dozens of tiny recurring tolls. You are being taxed by private corporations more efficiently than you are being taxed by the government. In the corporate world, this is called monthly recurring revenue, or MRR. It is the holy grail of Wall Street because it makes revenue predictable. But for the individual, predictable revenue for the company means predictable depletion for the household. You are the battery in their machine. Ledger entry. The average user spends over 1,000 hours of their working life just to pay for digital services they will never actually own. You are working for months of your life to buy nothing. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. The next stage of the invisible tax is physical. Companies like BMW and Toyota have experimented with function on demand. Want your heated seats to work? That's $18 a month. The hardware is already in the car. You paid for the weight of it. Now you must pay to unlock it. This is the hardware as a service model. It turns a one-time purchase into a permanent lease. If you stop paying, your own house or car begins to degrade in functionality. It is a hostage situation disguised as a feature update. The solution is not to live in the woods. It is to master the ownership stack. This means identifying every recurring cost and asking, can I own the machine that provides this service? If the answer is yes, the ROI on that purchase is usually higher than the stock market. Take cloud storage, you might pay $10 a month for 2 terabytes. Over 5 years, that's $600. Or you can buy a 4 terabyte external drive or a basic network attached storage device for $200 once. You've just tripled your capacity and cut your costs by 60%. Entertainment is the largest leak. The average person pays for 4 streaming services. By setting up a personal media server using tools like Plex or Jellyfin and buying physical media or digital copies once, you create a private library that never expires and never raises its prices. Ledger entry: replacing a $10 a month cloud storage plan with a $200 owned drive pays for itself in 20 months. Every month after that is a 100% dividend on your initial investment. The same applies to the professional world. If you use Adobe, look at Affinity. If you use Microsoft Office, look at LibreOffice or a one-time license. These owned alternatives often provide 95% of the functionality for 0% of the recurring cost. The most dangerous subscriptions are the zombie ones. These are the apps you forgot you had, the gym you don't visit, and the free trials that converted. Companies rely on inertia revenue, money they earn simply because you are too busy or tired to click cancel. To kill the zombies, use the virtual card strategy. Services like privacy.com allow you to create digital credit cards with spending limits. Set a limit of $1 for a free trial. When the company tries to charge you the full fee, the machine fails. You reclaim the power of the no. We must also look at buy it for life engineering. A cheap toaster costs $20 and lasts 2 years. A professional grade toaster costs $300 but lasts 30. The cheap option is actually a hidden subscription that costs you $10 a year forever. Ownership requires a higher upfront cost, which is why most people avoid it. But the middle class was built on the ability to accumulate assets. When you trade ownership for access, you are trading your long-term wealth for short-term liquidity. You are becoming a permanent tenant of your own life. Ledger entry: purchasing a buy-it-for-life appliance at 3x the price of a standard unit saves the average household over $4,000 in replacement costs and landfill fees over a lifetime. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. The invisible tax is also found in the smart home ecosystem. Do not buy a doorbell or camera that requires a cloud subscription to view your own footage. Choose hardware that supports local storage. If the company goes bankrupt, your security system shouldn't become a paperweight. True financial sovereignty is the process of uncoupling. Uncouple your happiness from recurring services. Uncouple your productivity from rented software. Uncouple your home from corporate servers. Every link you break is a pay raise you give yourself. Start with a subscription audit. Export your bank statement to a CSV file. Filter for every recurring transaction. You will likely find at least $40 a month in pure waste. Services you don't use or value. That's $500 a year. That's your next buy it for life asset. The goal isn't to be a Luddite. The goal is to be an owner. Use subscriptions only for things that are truly service-based, like your internet connection or electricity. For everything else, if it can be a thing you hold, hold it. If it can be a file you save, save it. Ownership is a hedge against inflation. When you own the machine, the tool, the software, the hardware, the price never goes up. In a world of infinite price hikes and terms of service updates, the only safe harbor is the things you actually own. Reclaiming the $273 a month isn't just about the money. It's about the psychological shift from being a consumer to being an operator. An operator owns their infrastructure. A consumer just pays for the right to exist in someone else's. Final ledger entry, monthly savings, $273. Potential retirement gain, $700,000. Digital and physical sovereignty, priceless. The machine only wins if you keep paying. Stop paying, start owning.